The Hatfields-McCoys, they kissed and made up. Well, Breathitt County never did.
Never did make up because both sides never gave up. There was too much at stake in Breathitt County as the 19th century turned into the 20th. Jackson was a booming railroad town.
The railroad represented money because in Jackson, the train stopped here.
This was where the power and the struggle for power was.
These were the bloodiest feuds in the history of the nation. The haves and the have-nots within the family split most often along economic lines. They were not family feuds. We would come up here periodically.
Stephen Bowling had ancestors on both sides of the feuds.
Of the approximately 110 graves in the cemetery, we know that there are approximately 12 that died as a result of the feuds.
Bowling knows most of the stories beneath these headstones at his family cemetery. He's just finished a book about the Breathitt County feuds. It took him 18 years. His interest first sparked by a 5th grade genealogy assignment.
These were well-educated individuals, very wealthy individuals. These were not country bumpkins with shotguns.
From the end of the Civil War to just before the First World War, as many as 500 people were killed. In one 11-month period, 40 men were killed on the courthouse square. J.B. Markham took 2 slugs in the base of his skull as he stood in the courthouse door.
Markham knew that he was a marked man, and for months he had been carrying his daughter around with him.
The man who ordered Markham's death, James Hargis, was a key figure in the feuds.
He ran the town. There's no other way to put it. He ran the town.
He was like a mob boss, and these were his boys.
You can kind of see the defiant spirit in almost every one of them.
Except for the Hargis name etched at the top of this building on Jackson's main street, the feuds have faded from view here. Back in the 60s, townfolk had the roadside marker that told of the feudin' and fightin' removed from the courthouse square.
This was a symbol in many ways of what we had been.
The marker now sits in a corner at the county museum, salvaged from a pickup truck that was headed for the dump. For Stephen Bowling, Bloody Breathitt is a piece of history to be embraced, not hidden.
We do not live in their shoes. We do not follow in their shoes. We do not know the pressures that they were under. So there's no reason to be ashamed. There's no reason to be embarrassed.
With photographer Charles Watson, this is Greg Stotelmyer along Kentucky's Backroads.